Good evening, everybody. It's Jordan Richards, the Phoenix Spiritual Coach here on sptv. Welcome to another episode. Please like, share, follow, share the love. Let me know where you are in the world. Obviously, your name, if your Facebook name is something totally different, a first name would be good as well. Yeah, and we'll get cracking. So start posing those questions and we'll do our best to answer them. And then don't forget, we obviously have live readings throughout the show as well now. And welcome. Let's share that love. Let's get the community together. Good evening, B. So hi to everybody. That'd be me, Richard, and everybody that's on and due to come on. So nice, including everybody. I like that inclusivity. Meldine, hello, good evening, welcome. Let us know where you are as well. You may be on a different timeline, so that's fine. Good evening, Laura. Hey to you with a purple heart as well. Lovely, great stuff. And you're all welcome to join in, say hello to myself and Richard. Good evening, Carol, Elston. Yeah. Oh, that's a nice cap pick, isn't it? Good evening, Susan Cooper. Good evening. Yeah. Oh, getting nice vibes off that picture, Susan. Laura Grant, good evening or good morning from Canada. Absolutely. One of our regulars is Laura. And from Oz, Ray Golden, love you. That's a nice pic as well. Very nice. Definitely sharing the love with that photo, aren't we? Chris, good evening. Let us know where you are. South London, Laura. Okay, good evening to you. And good day to the people down under, and good morning to the people in America, or good afternoon, as it may be. Yeah, new viewer, well, you're always welcome. So that's the whole point of this. Get the community together. Good evening, Debbie. Nice to see you again. And Geraldine Grayling, good evening. Don't forget, pose those questions and we'll get started ASAP. And then we will also obviously start the live readings, okay? I normally do a question, then a reading, and we follow that format throughout. Okay, good evening, Sue Lawrence. Or good, yeah, well, it'll be evening or quite late down under, won't it? New Zealand and Australia there. Lovely. Well, that is, I'm glad you put your name there, Deb, rather than me say F4 fan something. Very interesting. Okay. Good evening, Lucinda Austin. Yeah, hello to you and everybody else. Sarah Goutridge, good evening. Obviously, lots of people sharing lots of lovely hearts and waves and praying hands, etc. Good evening, Kath from Edinburgh. If I have missed you, good evening to you as the names come through. But you know that we are sharing the love, okay? And we'll be blending with the world of spirit shortly. So don't forget, ask those questions. Let's share our experiences and our knowledge. Good evening, yes. Good evening, Tina. Watching from Morden, lovely, very nice. Tina Grant, okay. Here's a question. Is it true if you meditate the same time every day, it helps you connect better with spirit? So there are two thoughts on this, really. People say that if you meditate, regardless of the time, obviously it does help you connect better. But if you preset the intention to obviously meditate at a specific time, so take what is commonly known as sitting in the power. I don't really like that phrase, just simply because we are the power. So why are we sitting in the power when we're wanting to connect? Because they're power, we're power, and it's a blending of power. So yeah, the terminology there is, I don't like it. But at the same time, it's about that intention. If you sit there, say, let's just say 1 p.m. every day, you do 30 minutes. If you're setting that intention as a daily practice or as a ritual, 100%, you're sticking to a disciplined and structured approach to your own development, whether that is as a medium or whether that is just for you to connect on a personal basis. So there is a lot of research in this area to say that it does work better if you connect at the same time every day. But don't forget, don't punish yourself here, I'm going to say, because things happen. And I don't always meditate at the same time of every day, because sometimes obviously I've got a client, or other things in my life take over. So your team understands that, your spirit guides and all the rest of it, okay? But where you possibly can, I would suggest that you do. And hopefully that answers your question, Laura. But it's a great question to start off with, because a lot of people struggle with meditation. But what I would say with regards to meditation here as well, just to kind of like, go into the question, is that meditation doesn't have to be you sat with your eyes closed and going like deep and all the rest of it. It doesn't have to be, listening to, healing frequencies or root chakra frequencies or whatever. It's whatever suits you, whatever resonates with you. I know people that listen to, like regular pop music, people that listen to classical music. That's how they chill out. That is how they connect with spirit. And you need to find that. Not every single type of meditation works for everybody. I do a lot of walking meditation because I've got dogs. So I tend to meditate several times throughout the day when I'm walking my dogs, with very kind of like, chilled out spiritual artists who are just, singing like lovely lyrics, that speak to you on a soul level. So yeah, check them out. There's loads of them on YouTube and all that, and it's all free, obviously, and on other platforms as well. So let's not just rule out YouTube. So whatever app you're using for your music, yeah, use them, and just connect, even if it's 5 minutes a day, and then build on that, I would say. Okay, you're welcome, Laura. And thank you very much for the question. Just with regards to yourself, though, before I move on to somebody else, I want to say that while I was talking to you, I had a gentleman's, I was aware of a gentleman stepping forward for you. I'm unsure of the relationship at the moment, but hopefully we'll be able to expand upon that at the moment. And he's just saying to me, with regards to a certain thing, and I believe it is with yourself, or it's somebody that's very, very close to you. So, your partner, maybe, actually, I want to say just below you, so somebody slightly younger than you, is having some troubles with a few things. And I'm being told that they need to just let themselves go. Grounding you can do as part of meditation, okay? But yeah, I would just sit and open yourself up properly, and set that intention in order to ground. Visualize your chakras opening so that you can connect better. Okay. I'll try and cover that in a little bit more detail because I've got this gentleman waiting as well. So he's coming in and he's got a walking stick on the right hand side, and he's telling me that there would have been an issue on the left hand side, and he used the right to kind of stable this. And he's saying to me, would you understand the name Donovan coming forward? I'm not sure whether this is a first name, but I feel like it's more of a second name. It may be a place, but if I've heard it right, it's Donovan or something similar to that. But the gentleman's a little bit concerned in relation to somebody who's around you if it's not you, and it's about them kind of like almost like self-beating themselves up. They're sat in this energy, and it's a bit like their own worst enemy kind of thing, because it's like, well, why isn't this happening? Why isn't that happening? And the gentleman's just saying they're always really, really hard on themselves when things go wrong, but they've got to understand that there are so many things out with their control, and there's too much control. So this is what he's trying to tell me here is whoever this is in relation to, Laura, is that somebody's trying to control their life too much. So I do feel like that's to do with, a lack of kind of like letting go and being in the flow. So obviously meditation comes into that to help you, but also to change that mindset in relation to being a little bit more on kind of like that love vibration, and a bit more kind of like, together, and not be as harsh with yourself. If you can't get something completed, he's saying to me, within a day, just put it at the top of your priority list the next day. Okay. Okay, that's fine. He's not telling me too much, to be honest. He's just saying, I need to tell her this. So would you understand that he's talking about you? Or because I felt it was somebody slightly younger than you, but very close to you. Um, but either way, he's just saying, I am around you, and he's telling me that there have been some troubling times, but you would understand that one of the issues that you've been experiencing lately has now been completed and the door is closed. Okay. He's also making reference to, say it again, please. He's also making some sort of reference in relation to France here. So I don't know what that's about because he's just told me I need to say France. I need to say France. Would you understand that name in the Donovan that I gave you before? And okay, and he's making reference to like a picture and a frame of him, and from what I can see, it's like it's quite um, I want to say it's either silver or mirrored because it's very shiny on the outside of the frame. And I'm being told whether it's you or this other person, I do feel that this is you though. It's almost like you're looking at him and he stood quite well dressed in the frame. Bit of a smile, but not like a full smile. And it's like every time she looks at me, I draw close. So when you're looking at that photograph, so just watch out for that energy stepping in. Okay, well that's fine if you don't know the names. You may not be able to place them at the minute, but I've definitely got France, and I feel that that's to do with a country. So there would either be something in relation to somebody's been to France, a holiday, a memory. When I say that, I feel like it's more of a memory coming in. But the Donovan, I feel, is a surname. Okay, and it's connected to the gentleman that I've got here. Okay. Um, and he's just saying to me, would you understand that there is some sort of celebration coming up early December, I want to say, if not very late November? I feel it's in the last few days of November, December. He's not giving me, I want to say the third actually, now that I've said that. I've just made a 12, just made 12 picture frame. That's great grandfather. Right, okay. Right, okay. So, I mean, you may be able to check that name out by all means, yeah? Please do. And he's just saying that he wants you to know that he's very much around you, trying to kind of like give you that calmness of mind in order to deal with something that needs your priority. I don't feel that that's too serious, actually, but I feel like it's like, oh, we're putting it off, we're putting it off. And he's just saying, can we get it done? Yeah, just and that prioritization keeps on coming in. And I'm also being told that there's a bit of a lack of organizing oneself in relation to, oh, it's like, oh, I'm going to do this today, and then everything just kind of like kiboshes, so to speak, or we don't get done everything that we want. And I feel that that's linking into what I said before in relation to, you know, being kinder to self. Don't sit and punish yourself when you don't get stuff done. Just go, okay, it wasn't meant to be. I'm doing it for tomorrow, you know. And he wants you to kind of, I feel like he was quite methodical when he was here. By any chance, was he in the armed forces? Because I'm starting to get like quite a strong stern energy with him. And so that's either his personality or he has that characteristic. And I do feel that that's military connected somewhere in relation to that. Um, and would you also understand the name James coming in as well before I leave you? And I've got to say to you, on the whatever it is, round about the 3rd of December, give or take a couple of dates on that, because I did mention the end of November, but I do feel it's the beginning of December, and he told me the 3rd. So just watch out for that date if you don't understand where that celebration is, because I feel that that's an important date to give you. Okay. And he's just saying, I'm always around you, but you don't recognize when I'm there when you're asking for me. So this is why I've said to you, we just recognize that when you're looking at those pictures that you've mentioned, and I mentioned also, that basically he is stepping forward, okay, just to help you with that. So I want you to just sit silently and ask the question in your mind if you feel that you need to ask your son here, to just help you move forward with that thing that needs to be prioritized. And hopefully you would understand that. And thank you very much for being very quick with regards to responding, because it does help me connect a much stronger with the world of spirit when they step forward. Laura, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much for your question, and thank you so much for allowing me to connect. It was my pleasure to bring that gentleman through. He's beautiful energy, and he's very much around you. Before I just leave that connection, he is telling me that he comes around you, and I want to say to you, you would feel somebody like putting their hands, like obviously I've got my hands out like this, but it's almost like he's coming in from the back and he's putting his hands around you like this, as if to give you a cuddle over the shoulders. So I've got to leave you with that, okay? And thank you very much. Okay. Hi, Holly, popping in to say hi and catch your show. You're most welcome. It's lovely to have you all the way from the United States. Any tips for finding good mediumship circles? So mediumship circles, are you talking about development, or are you talking about an open circle? So there's plenty of them that are advertised on Facebook, including my own, which is on a Thursday night at 9 p.m. So obviously go to my Facebook page, you'll see my advertisement there, but there are plenty of others, advertised on Facebook through, social advertising. If you put that in, not social advertising, spiritual adverts, there's loads of like spiritual practitioners and mediums that run plenty of circles all throughout the week at all different times across the world. So yeah, I mean, there are a few, obviously I say more than a few, I should say. But mine's is 9 p.m. on a Thursday night, okay? And you're more than welcome to join anybody, all different levels of mediumship, and it doesn't matter in relation to, where you are in the world or what level you are or whatever. If you want to join, please join. Development. Okay, development is an interesting one because at the moment, there are a few development circles that I would recommend, but at the same time, my job isn't to, promote all of these different people, because obviously it's this show. Again, refer yourself to Facebook. Happy for you to connect with me on Facebook, and I can point you in the right direction when I'm not on the show, and share some of those adverts with you in relation to development or open circles. Some of them are free, some of them are obviously chargeable. I charge for development because at the end of the day, it is a commitment, and when people pay for something, they are then committed to it. Whereas if it's free, they tend to come and go and drop out. And that's why a lot of mediums do charge for development, even if it's only, £5–10, per session per week or whatever it is. It's to show your level of commitment, not only to us, but to spirit. So, just be aware there are costs involved, but just do your research. There are some groups that won't be meant for you, but there are other groups that are meant for you as well. And that's across the board. That includes me as well. You find the right people at the right level where you're at in order to move forward, okay? And that will change, and you just allow that change to happen, okay? But while I'm on you, B, okay, I can't remember your first name, but I know that you did put it in chat earlier. Sorry? Belinda, right, okay. So I was very much aware when you asked the question, it came back up, because Richard had kind of like jumped screen, and I said hello to somebody else, and then I got your question back. And then that was when a lady stepped in. Now, I do feel like this is more kind of like either mum or grandmother's just stepping in, just because of the energy. And it feels very much like my mum and my gran, and they had a very similar energy. So I want to say that this is on your side of the family, okay? And it's more about coming in around you to just give you a little bit of strength and courage in relation to something that's going on around you. I feel like from what they're telling me and the way that it's coming in, it's almost like there is a situation that we don't want to be kind of like getting involved in, but would you understand that you need to be the peacemaker, so therefore you need to speak up? Okay. Um, I'm getting like 82, 83 here, so I don't know whether that's the lady's age, but she's referring to 82, 83. Okay. Now that I've just said that again, I am getting that she would have obviously had a bit of a health issue later on in life towards like her 80s, and there would have been a decline roughly around about 82 and possibly passed over around about the age of 83. If it's not our age, then this is obviously the years going by from what I'm referring to. But I also want to mention somebody. Would you understand somebody? I keep getting Paul, but I also keep getting, and I'm not sure whether this is Lynn, because it was coming in as Paul, but it sounded like Pauline. But I want to separate the lean. So it's so is there somebody called Lean or like Lynn, something like that as well? It was as if two names were coming in at one time there, so I do apologise that I'm asking them to separate it. So I'm being saying, would you understand the name Lynn around you as well? Okay. They're making reference to like some sort of like trinket box, jewellery box, that type of thing. And I'm being told that there would be several of this. I do have a Pauline, right? Okay, so I did hear it right. But you would understand the Paul as well, unless obviously it was just the way it came in it, because it sounded like it was broken. If it wasn't, and you just understand the Pauline, fine. That was me. But they're making reference to this trinket box, and I'm also being told, with regards to this, you would understand that there are certain items that have been left, but I want to specifically go to a ring here, and I feel like with that this lady's basically saying that it's not with the person that she wanted it to be with, because it was left to the person that she wanted to, but they have passed it. You understand the Paul as well. Lovely, thank you. That clarifies that with the reason why I got it the way I did. Thank you. So she's making reference to a ring. So it was given to somebody when she passed over, okay? And I do get the sense that this is like gran now, and it would have been passed to mum. But then I feel like mum's passed it further on, whether this is you or somebody on the lower level, underneath mum generationally, and they've passed it on early. Would you understand that? And she's just saying, I'm quite happy with that decision. Okay. But she's also making reference to March. So there'd be some sort of celebration, birthday in March. And she's bringing that forward. And I've got a big, massive bunch of roses here with regards to this as well. So I do feel like this is more kind of like, like a birthday or, some sort of Pacific anniversary, but not, I don't want to link it to a passing, okay? Because it's red roses, okay? But I also want to say, right, she's making reference to, she would have wore, okay, she's making reference, I'm trying to get the name of this, fragrance that she's given me here, but it's very floral. Would you understand that? I can't make out the name. I want to say it's by like the House of Givenchy or something like that. I'm not quite getting it, but it's a very, very floral scent, quite heavy floral, and she's just making reference to it. You would understand that you have smelt this on a few occasions, but more recently, within the last 2 weeks, I'm being told. We just watch out when she's coming around you, okay? She's also making reference here as well, before I leave you, that you would understand the ring. Lovely. And you understand the fragrance as well, while I'm just going to continue on, please. And she's making reference to some sort of, I want to say like ledger. I originally thought it was like, like just regular paperwork, but she wants me to add in the word ledger here. So I feel like this is around, ledgers are like, for taxes and finances and what have you. So I feel like there needs to be almost like a review of finances somewhere. I want to say somebody's overspending. I'm not saying it's you, but somebody is overspending, okay? and they've not to overspend at this time of year. And I do feel that that's coming in with regards to spending for Christmas. Okay, I feel that this person kind of like goes above and beyond when they can't really afford it from the way that it's just come in. So it's about, she's making reference. It wasn't like that in my day. We were a little bit more thoughtful in relation to, buying, within a budget. And it was more about the gift that you received and the intention behind it because there was thought in it. Yes, it was in JC Penney's and smelled a strong fragrance, but couldn't find it where it was coming from. Right, okay. And I do feel like that's that. I do feel it's this lady coming around you at times. From what she's saying with regards to me. Just watch out where that happens again in the next few days. She's telling me. She's saying I'm around her very often. But she's also saying, would you understand? Right, okay. She's making reference to, would you understand almost like hearing a laugh, and there was nobody there when you were making a cup of tea or a coffee or something like that. She's saying that occasionally, it's almost like she's, trying to get your attention, and you're kind of like looking around as if to say, but there's nobody there, and it's her. And she's saying recently that somebody went and squeezed the tea bag too tightly, and the tea bag burst, so they ended up having to throw the tea away and then remake a cup of tea, which is interesting. So I feel like that she's been around you very recently with that. I do feel that that's in the last week or so. Um, and okay, and she's also telling me. Right, okay. She also wants me to mention February to you, okay? But she's also taking me to July. She's telling me that there's a significance in relation to the number 17. So whether that's within a month or somebody the age of 17, just so you understand it, okay? Or maybe a door number or something. I do feel it's within a month, okay? And she's also saying here, before she leaves you, that, okay. Would you understand almost like you've got a lot of activity around you here, by the way, because I keep getting taken to my legs, and my dogs are nowhere near me, they're way over there. And I keep getting like an animal brushing up against me. So I feel like it's a dog because it's a bit further up on my leg, so it wouldn't be as high up across, the calf muscle. So I feel like there's a dog in spirit that just wants to be recognised, please. Okay. I do want to give you the name Toby, so I don't know whether that's to do with the dog, but would you understand the name Toby as well? Okay. I've also got to mention somebody has diabetes and needs to be watching what they eat. So that would be type 2 and not insulin. Okay. And they've not to overindulge at Christmas on the sweet stuff. Okay. I had to put your dog down, and that's awful because I've experienced that myself. They're family at the end of the day, and I do, my heart goes out to you, my darling, with regards to that. You know, it's just like losing, a member of your family, if not worse, in my opinion. Um, right, let me just see what she wants to bring you before I leave you, okay? Because she's starting to draw away. Okay, okay. Would you understand the reason why she's telling me you need to wear more green? Okay. She's telling me you need to wear more of the color green, but I don't feel it's like like an emerald green. I want to go like slightly lighter than that. Okay. But not like a pastel, more kind of like well, not as dark as emerald, like an adventuring green, like a sea green, that kind of color. Okay. And she's also saying to me here as well that you would understand why I want to bring up that December is a hard month. Okay. But can you light a candle and make sure it's tears of joy and not sorrow? Okay. And there's a lovely bouquet of yellow chrysanthemums, I think they are, coming forward, and I've got to give them to you. So obviously that flower would be significant in relation to this lady or yourself. Please take her love. She's so gentle as well. But I feel that you wouldn't want to have crossed this lady as well. She was very patient, but when she had enough, her back was quite abrupt, I want to say. But very nice energy. Okay, please know that she's around you and she's trying to help you with the situation that I've already mentioned. Okay, and please take all our love here online as well. Okay, and my pleasure to connect with you, and thank you for the question as also. Okay, thank you very much, Belinda. Okay. Okay, Sarah Goutridge. Keep dreaming of loved ones, and then a dragonfly comes buzzing around me. What does this mean? Okay. Okay. Dreaming of loved ones. We've got to remember when you're dreaming that you're in obviously, a different state of consciousness. So I mean that's beautiful in itself. And you don't always recognize loved ones around you, when you're here, in the physical, because we're so like, in the rat race, so to speak. And with regards to the dragonfly, I'm not sure symbolically what that means, to be honest, in relation to the dragonfly. But I would say, because of like what I do know in relation to it, I just feel that they are dragonflies, from what I remember, are quite lucky generally. So I feel like they're just coming around you in relation to some sort of luck that's coming in and to change the energy around you. Um, but I also want to say, Richard's just told me that because he's got more knowledge in this area than me, adaptability. So you need to learn to adapt to whatever's around you in your current situation. And that's interesting because when I've said that as well, there is a young gentleman stepping forward. I feel that this is more on like a friend vibration, and he's saying that you would remember seeing him in the dream. And he's just saying, we are giving you the relevant signs in order to adapt around the situation that's going on around you here. And I feel that that's quite stressful from the energy that I've just got with that. And I feel like you just need to adapt, but you need to grow from it. So it's almost like I want to say to you, you just need to take yourself out of that situation and just let it go, because it's not serving you. And I'm being told that you just need to kind of like walk away from it and let the person who that's to do with, they need to make the decision on whatever that is as well. Okay. I am getting Margaret, and I don't know whether that's obviously somebody you can take, but I've just been given the name Margaret. I do feel that that's going further back in the family from somebody who's passed. Okay. And okay, would you understand the name Thomas or Tommy that's just been dropped in? Obviously, Tommy's the slang version of it. But you would understand Margaret and Thomas, okay? But I also want to say to you, with regards to just taking that situation out of the way, with the gentleman bringing that in, I want to say to you, you would understand that there are quite significant changes happening around you at the moment. And I want to go around kind of like work around this. So somebody's, I feel like somebody's in that thought process of, actually, I want to leave where I am. Okay. And I am being told that they need to follow their heart. I know that's quite general, but I am being told it would mean a total shift in what they're doing, because they're not happy doing the job that they're doing. And that's the reason why there's a few things going on around work. And I do feel like that's involving kind of like, management intervention, HR, that kind of thing. Okay. I do need you to respond to me, Shara, because otherwise I'm going to leave the message there, and I am going to leave it there because obviously she's just turned on it. They've turned on and told me, and the gentleman said, just take yourself out that situation that we first mentioned, and they said that you would understand why. You need to not get involved in that. Okay. So please take the love. My pleasure connecting with you, and thank you very much for your question. Okay. And thanks to Richard there for giving me the dragonfly. I learned something new, as we always do every day. Okay. Mel Dean, okay. Do you have a specific moment when you realized you wanted to continue your journey with spirit, or when you knew you were on the right path? Okay. Um, so my path has not always been the easiest, I have to say, and I'm sure most of you can resonate with that. Um, um, my gran was one of the old mediums, did it in our kitchen and our back room and all that sort of stuff. So I was brought up with it from a very young age, and then obviously, the physical reality takes over, school, all that sort of stuff. I've stepped into my spirituality and out of it throughout the years due to work, etc. But the biggest one, in order for me to make the change to go full time spiritual, as in like make a career out of it as well, was when I left America at the back end of 2022, I think. No, 2020. No, beginning of 2022. Sorry, yeah, end of 21, 22. I was sat on the front of the cruise ship because that's what I used to do. It used to be work on the cruise ships. I was sat on the front of the cruise ship. Couldn't sleep. We were deporting at 6 o'clock in the morning, to get our flight and all that sort of stuff. And all of my team just stepped forward and went, "You won't be signing a new contract. You're coming to work for us," which was a bit scary and a bit kind of like, oh my goodness, right, okay. Came back to the UK, obviously started my development back up again, because when you leave it, you've got to like obviously rekindle what you've left before. So it's not that I've lost my faith at any point, but definitely had to, rehome those skills again. And went on lots of circles, lots of development, and various other workshops and things like that. Um, I knew that I was on my path, really, when, you get that confirmation, whether it's from, another medium that's, giving you a really, really good message, and you're getting that confirmation from the spirit world, but also as, a tarot and oracle reader and all the rest of it. I give myself cards every week, to make sure that I'm aware of what's coming in, or an idea of what's going to come in, for my own highest good and for the highest good of all, because that's how I work. It's not just about me; it's about me being able to do it for the benevolence of everybody. It's one of the reasons why I do this show as well, because it's about sharing and not keeping that knowledge to self. Um, and 2022 was an interesting one because I did do a lot of development, okay, but at the same time they wanted me to like really start pushing my own career on the spiritual side, being a medium, being a healer, tarot reader, all these different things. And I was like, no, 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 just let me build it up slowly, let me take it at my pace. And that's the thing, you need to remember that as much as they're pushing you forward, you've also got to let things go in order for things to come in. So I had to let go, some of the stuff that I was doing before in order to create that space and that time, in order to kind of further commit to my spiritual path and know that I'm on the right path. A lot of people will turn around and say to you with regards to when you know you're on the right path, angel numbers, 1111, and so forth. But it's not just about the angel numbers, that's the synchronicity of it. So you need to look into that further. That's just a sign being given to you to initially say, yes, you're doing the right thing now, but then you need to go further in order to be able to understand, what is happening in the wider world. And you can go into astrology and all sorts of different things like that. Okay, I think that's my struggle of letting go. So it's interesting, Mel, because we all struggle with that. Okay, and I'm not saying to fully let go of control. That is a process, and it's a difficult one because we all want to kind of control certain aspects of our life, but just let them come in and guide you slowly. and just take it in little steps. Let them just line up the breadcrumbs, and like the birds, or whatever you want to say, just literally taking the breadcrumb, moving along, following the trail along, and that's interesting actually, because there's a gentleman just stepped forward as soon as I read that you were struggling. I want to say that this is either dad or granddad here, but I do feel it's more dad. Would you understand that first? Okay. I've got a couple of names here, and I've got John first of all, okay, and then I've got a D name. I'm not understanding exactly what it is, but it's not like David. It's like an unusual D name, okay, for a gentleman. And he's just saying that with regards to yourself, um, you take on way too much of other people's things, and you need to learn to say no so that the struggle isn't as hard. Yeah, it's almost like I want to put like he's telling me to say that he's putting, you feel like you're putting like like a rucksack on your shoulders, but it's full of lead, and we're getting weighed down. Okay, and you need to start offloading some of that baggage. And I want to say to you, breath work here. Okay, visualizing, the light going into you, making you lighter, and as on the out breath, you're getting rid of that dense energy that you're picking up from other people, because there's a stagnation there, from what I'm getting as well. But he's making reference here as well. You would understand he wants to make reference to, I feel like it's a wedding ring, because I'm going to my wedding finger, and that would be left, and it would be a gentleman that would have that, and that's been passed down. But he's also telling me that there would be a watch being left as well, um, along with a couple of other bits of jewellery, which I don't want to say are non-significant, but he's not mentioning what they are. He's mentioning the ring. Okay, Davidson, right? Okay, that's why I didn't say it, because it sounded like David, but I knew I didn't hear it properly. So thank you for that. That just confirms that as well. Thank you. No, that's fine. I wasn't sure, but yeah, thank you for the confirmation. Yeah, he's your hero. Yeah, so he is stepping forward, and he's saying to you, you need to unload that bag of lead that you're carrying around with you. Okay. Um, my boyfriend proposed to me in September with Graham. There you go. So he was around you because he's making reference to it, and he's took me to the wedding ring. Okay. But he is making reference to a watch that's been left as well. I do feel that that's not working. And it's a case of the inside needs to be tweaked with, but it also needs like a new part, because it's an old style watch. It's like wind up, yeah. And I want to say it's got a white face with like gold Roman numerals is the word that I wanted there. And he's just making reference with regards to some of the things that are going on around you, that you need to just stop and take a minute and think to yourself before you say yes to somebody. Just say to yourself first, prioritize yourself, okay? Because I feel like you just go yes, okay, yes, okay, and you're taking it on, and you're taking it on, and and we're not getting rid of it, okay? And he's just saying you need to learn to say no, but he's also saying that with regards to that, okay, ask yourself first. Don't let yourself say yes automatically. Learn to ask yourself first, have I got the time to take on that extra baggage? But you also need to remember that from a conversation, he's saying that when you're talking to people, I feel like you're absorbing everything that they're taking, but you're not then transmuting it. And he's saying to me that this weighs heavy on you. Okay. So I feel like there's a little bit of out of sync here. Okay. And I want to say to you, whether you go outside and, hug a tree and, transmute that energy, or set the intention in a shower when you're washing yourself, let the water fall down you, and as you're washing yourself, allow that energy that doesn't serve you, that transmutation, to go down the plug hole and drain away. Okay. And I would suggest that you do that at night rather than in the morning. But if you want to do both, absolutely. I find it better to do it in the night, because obviously if you picked anything up that day, you're getting rid of it before you go to sleep. Okay, if that makes sense. But he's also making reference here as well. Um, would you understand? There is some sort of I want to say historical artifact that this gentleman's mentioned in. I feel like it's like I keep doing this with my hand, um, and I feel like I'm turning pages. So I want to say it's like a book of something, some sort, and there would be some sort of written up article about this gentleman. Okay, and I'm not too sure whether you would understand this, right, from the way he's bringing it in. But he's saying to me that you need to go and look at that. Okay, and he's also saying to me July would be important. Okay, thank you so much. Oh, well, it's my pleasure to connect with you. I'm not quite done, but he's making reference to that book, okay, and or that article, okay. So I want you to go and look at that if you don't understand what that is. And Google just been shouted into my head. So there's some sort of article where he's been mentioned, okay, but he's also saying to me you would understand why I want to come to the lower abdominal region in relation to a male around you. I'm being told it's nothing serious, but they need to be watching what they're eating because I'm getting like it's almost like the food's a little bit too hot and spicy and it doesn't agree with them. Even although they like it, it doesn't agree with the digestive system. So it's more about kind of like, if they're having a hot curry, put a bit of cream in it and just take that, the edge off it, I want to say, from what he's telling me. Um, and he's just gave me a slice of birthday cake. So there must be a birthday coming up as well. Okay. Um, and I want to say that would you understand? He has a lot. Right. Okay. Okay. Have a look through. Yeah. And please let me know if it connect with me on Facebook if you find it, etc. Okay. Um, would you understand the birthday cake coming forward? Okay. Because there must be a birthday coming up in the next few weeks or whatever. Okay, between now and the next 2 weeks, because the next show's in 2 weeks. So I want to say it's within the next 2 weeks, unless it's just been. Okay, but he's saying that he was there. There was lots of laughter, and there was a bit of a drunken escapade. So this must be in past tense. This. Um, okay, Crohn's disease. Right. Well, that would make sense. Okay, thank you. Because I've got a friend that's got that. And he's just telling me that before I leave you, you've not that there's would you understand the with you saying that you got engaged, etc. He's saying to me, make sure it's in the fall. Make sure it's in the fall. So I feel that that's to do with a wedding. So if you've not planned a date, remember it's got to be in the fall. So August, September time, so maybe a year's time or thereabouts. Now that I've said that, I've been told 14, so I want to refer that to months. So that would be round about now next year. So yeah, birthdays in December, January, February. My fiance's daughter, then mine. Okay, so it's coming in. But would you understand? I'm just making reference quickly to somebody's birthday that's gone, and there was a bit of a drunken escapade. I don't feel it was like anything violent, but somebody kind of got a little bit out of hand, and then somebody had to step in. If this wasn't you, it was another lady that had to just step in and just go, look, you've just had a bit too much to drink. Just calm down, okay? Um, and yes. And thank you very much for letting me connect with you. Thank you for your question as well. I do want to leave you with sunnier days, and he's just went and brought in like oh my god, I'm shocking with flowers. He's brought in like a yellow flower, and it's got like 5 petals that are on it. So I don't know what that is, but it's got like try and get the name here. No, I don't know what the name here is, but it's a yellow flower. It's got a yellow flower. It's got a lovely little centre, and it's got like 5 petals yellow around it. Okay, so I hope you understand that because I didn't quite get the name of the flower. Thank you very much, Mel, for connecting with me. Thank you very much for your question. And you're always welcome, as everybody else is. Okay? Please take his love and know that he's around you, guiding you. Okay? Thank you. Okay. Good evening, Dave. How are you? I'm very well, thank you very much. So yeah. Ashley Oliver. Okay. Hi, Jordan, Richard, and everyone watching. Thank you very much, and to everybody. Okay, and Ashley's obviously on SPTV tomorrow night for his show with a special guest. So, sorry, her show. And don't forget, I do apologise, Ashley. I feel like somebody's wanting to step in here. Your show, and oh my God, that's just threw me now. Oh my goodness, like beetroot red, total embarrassment. Right, okay, nothing like going live. Right. So yeah, Ashley, don't forget Ashley's show tomorrow night, 7 p.m. And obviously her show connecting the community, loved ones and live readings, etc. as well. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Caroline Nelson, question. Soul and spirit are often used interchangeably. When they are used in that way, what is the distinction, please? Whew, right. Okay. Wow. That's a question, isn't it? Right. This is only my own take on this, right? The spirit is more about, as far as I'm concerned, your essence, and your spirit grows from your soul. Once your soul is obviously, brought into your body, you live your life. You've got lessons, soul lessons that take you through your journey, but your spirit automatically blossoms, evolves, and then that feeds back into the soul. Okay, so I always say that they're both separate. I know a lot of people say to me that that are, like you've just said, they're interchangeable. Some people believe it's the same. Some people believe it's two separate things. I would say, for me personally, the way that I would see it is your soul is the energy that you come into the world with. The spirit is the part of the soul that evolves, that allows you to fulfill whatever journey you're on, Caroline. Okay, in basic terms. Um, so hopefully that answers your question. Now, Caroline, I'm going to just connect with you here as well. The first, I mean, the cat is just drawing me straight away, as I said, when you said hello earlier on. And I'd want to say, would you understand at least 4 cats running around in spirit? Okay. First of all, because I feel like a couple of them are like clawing at my shins here straight away. And I do know that there is a lady and a gentleman stepping forward. Okay. Would you understand the name Patricia or Pat coming in? So I don't know, but well, I said Patricia, but then Pat. So I don't know whether that's 2 different names, because Pat could be a man. But would you understand that, first of all? And I do want to just say, with regards to you, would you understand why I want to say that you need to get out and just clear the mind a little bit? I'm being told for you to get out and get a little bit more fresh air and just take that time. But I'm also being told that would you understand some sort of mobility issues? So I don't know whether that's with you or with one of these 2 people that are stepping forward, but I'm being told that there would be mobility issues. Okay, but I am just being told to sit in the fresh air in order to just let everything go and get clarity around a situation that needs to be dealt with. Okay, and I feel like this is to do with the younger generation below you. Okay. So it be involve kids or on that line below you. Pat, lady. Yeah, okay. I got Patricia first, so yeah. Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much. And okay. Would you understand she's being a little bit bossy and she's trying to push me forward here to connect with you a little bit more strongly. She's like, come on, I've not got all day. Which is quite interesting because I am quite used to dominant women, but yeah. And she's just kind of just saying to me that you need that little bit of a push forward at this moment in time to deal with that situation. She's saying you've got this. You just need to clear the mind in order for whatever it is to bring the clarity around this situation. Okay. She is making reference to. Would you understand why she just gave me diamonds? So she's not giving me jewelry with it, but she just said diamonds. Um, okay, and now she's saying diamonds and pearls. I think that's a song, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sure it is. Right. So if it's a song, I want to say to you, just listen to that here, okay? But I also want to say to you as well, would you understand a gentleman's name that sounds like Derek? Um, yeah, I'm sure it's Derek. But she's also mentioning a David, and she's mentioning a Thomas. I do feel that that name's going way back um, around you. Okay, I want to say to you, you need to watch out for the end of this month around a situation that you're dealing with, where I feel it's going to kind of like spike. And they're just saying to me they're trying to deal with that. So I feel like they're coming in to tell you to just kind of like get the clarity around that so that it doesn't escalate. Would you understand that? It's almost like I want you to be a lot more kind of like um, a little bit more calmer, reserved with the energy that I've just got from the lady, even though she's pushing me forward to connect with you. Okay. I do feel like she was quite authoritative from how she keeps on coming in around me. But she's saying, no, no, no. She says, I was like that at times, but she had a softer side. But not many people would know that side of her. I feel like she would have had quite an authoritarian job. I want to put her in like an office, that kind of thing, from what she's saying to me, like a supervisor or a manager, Carol. She's also saying to me, okay, and there would be significance in relation to February, May, and August specifically, but you would understand that there would there would also be a passing um, early December. I do want to go quite a few years back with that, okay? At least probably 10, I would say. Okay. So I feel like that's the other person that stepped in because it's almost like they step forward and step back. And I just want to say, even although these times are hard in relation to family gatherings and all the rest of it, I'm being told um, you would understand that the dynamics within the family are not always amicable, I want to say, okay? Um, but they're bringing around a lot of kind of like nice calming energy for you, okay? um, in order to deal with a situation, but also to step back from a situation, just so that you've got that clarity to deal with this in the right headspace. I want to say, not that you're not in the right headspace, but it's dealing with it in a way that it doesn't escalate. Remember, I said that, okay? Um, and she's also making reference um, to carnations here, and I want to come. I want to come to my neck here. So there's some sort of item, necklace, jewellery that's been left by this lady, and I feel like there's some sort of pendant on it. She's not showing me, but I do know that there's something on it because it feels quite heavy at the bottom of the chain. Okay. Um, and would you also understand why I want to say to you Devon and Cornwall? So there would either be a connection there, a holiday there, or something like that. Okay. And she's also telling me that you need to get away, even if it's for a weekend. Okay. You need a break from reality to just hit the reset button. Okay. And hopefully you would understand the rest of that message. Thank you very much for connecting in your question, and you would understand the dates. Right, okay, lovely. Thank you so much, Carol. Please take the love. Know that they're around you and always guiding you, as I always say. And yeah, um, we'll move on. Thank you so much, Carol. Okay, Laura. Jordan, is it true when you see a robin, it's a sign? Also would love a reading, please. Don't we all want a reading, Laura? I don't get very many myself doing what I do, isn't it? The joys of what we do. But then again, sometimes they come in like, you know. I got three the other week, interestingly enough. Yeah. So the universe is always sending you signs, whether it's synchronicities through angel numbers, whether it's, you have that meeting of somebody that you wouldn't have connected with, and it just comes out of the blue, whether it's a robin, whether it's crows, ravens, whatever. There would be some sort of significance in relation to the why the robin's coming around you, okay? And I would say to you, what does that resonate within you, Laura? Is there a connection with somebody in spirit that's coming forward with the robin, okay, as their sign? And just ask when it happens, you know, what's why is the robin coming in and who's it to do with? So it could be a friend, a relative, or whatever it is, yeah, that's bringing forward a sign just to say that they're around you. But take note of what you're thinking about there as well, okay? I am going to try and obviously connect with you. I do know that I've got an energy just about to step in, okay? I do want to say that this gentleman is coming forth quite forthright. I don't feel that this is necessarily family. I feel that this is more on a kind of like friend vibration from how he's stepping in. But you would understand that the way he's coming in, it's almost like he's saying that you were like thick as thieves when you were younger, okay? And I'm linking my hands like this. So he's telling me that, you were thick as thieves when you were younger, but due to life, we kind of separated, but we were always friends. But sadly, he went over early to the world of spirit before his time, is how he's telling me. I want to put this gentleman round about 40-ish. He's not given me his proper age yet, but I wouldn't say he's very much older than that. I want to say kind of maybe like 41, 42, maybe slightly below 40 though. Yeah. And I want to give you the name Greg. I don't know whether that's his name, but he's telling me that I need to mention Greg or Gregory. Okay. I also need to mention a Daniel. And I also need to mention a Mary. Um, okay. I feel that this name, I'm not sure whether you would understand it, but it's an unusual one. I've got Geraldine. So it's not one that comes in very often, but I feel like that's going back in the family as well. And right, okay. Would you understand that the person that's coming forward was I want to say he was a bit of a macho man, okay? Or at least he had that kind of enthusiasm, that energy, that character, and nothing really kind of stopped him doing what he wanted to do. I feel that this is why he's coming in and he's saying to me, she needs to embrace how she was when she was younger. And I'm being told fearless. So I don't know what that's to do with, but hopefully you would understand why that's happening, why that's coming forward. So I feel like maybe you're kind of hindering your own steps going forward because it's almost like, we're confining ourselves, but we need to be stepping out and back into our authentic self and stop letting life kind of control us and taking it on board. That's the kind of energy I'm getting with it. Okay. He's making reference to a heart attack. So I'm assuming from how he's gave me that's it would have been something to do with the heart or a heart attack, how he's passed. I do need you to respond to me as well, Laura. Otherwise, I will lose the link. So he's making reference to dodging school, so skipping school and going on some sort of trip with him and at least two, three other friends. I can see like a group of 4 or 5 people. Um, and okay, would you understand why I want to say amber as well? And there's something to do with ice skating as well as a memory. Um, okay, sorry, not understanding. Right. Okay. Um, okay. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Can you not take any of that? Because I definitely feel I'm with you, Laura. Okay. The gentleman's, would you understand? Let me just try and get this back. Would you understand that the gentleman would have been a school friend and you would have distanced yourselves after you left school and life kind of takes over and we all go down our certain paths? Okay. Um, and then the names, because sorry, not understanding. I need to know whether you can take any of the information that I gave you. No. Okay. I'm going to let this one go then because Tracy Boyle, it's my brother. Right. I do apologize to obviously the other person. We do sometimes get what I call a rather, you know, energetic spirit that wants to just jump in because that person needs that message. Thank you for speaking up, Tracy. If you understand it all, great stuff. And apologies to Laura there. Sometimes this does happen, but hopefully we may be able to get you a reading before the end of the night. Okay, so let me just retrack. Right, okay, Amber, right, okay. And okay. 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 Would you understand why I want to say there needs to be I want to use the word intervention around somebody. I don't feel that this is with you, Tracy. I feel that this is somebody in your wider circle. Okay. I also feel that he's fine. He's come forward to obviously communicate with you. But would you understand why he's mentioning intervention? I feel like there may have been an intervention around this gentleman before he passed. And I want to say that this would have been a conversation around heavy use of substances, specifically alcohol, I'm getting. But that's, and I feel like there's a similar situation here happening now around you. So it's almost like somebody needs to have a word with somebody because there's an excess of consumption. Okay. Um, okay. And would you understand why I'm getting March several times? So there must be multiple things happening in March, like birthdays, anniversaries, that time. I've got it 3 times, so there must be multiple things within March. Okay. He's also mentioned in October, and he's also mentioned in 5. And I do feel that that's within a month. Um, but I also need to mention 4. Would you understand why I want to mention 4? And I want to say this is to do with a family of 4 in relation to, I want to say yourself actually. So, like, right, okay, your son. Okay, right, okay. And you would understand the 4. Okay, right. Okay, let's get you the message. Yeah, right, okay. I wanted to focus on the alcohol because I felt that that was more the prominent one. But yes, I did get the other part of it as well. Um, okay. Um, okay. Right. He wants to just come in and say to you in relation to kind of like in a general sense, you would understand that somebody specifically needs to be cut out. And I want to say that this is on a friend vibration as well. I want to say that that is somebody needs to literally, you need to close the door and move on. Okay. But I also want to say that there is a situation within the family, yeah, that also needs a delicate touch. And he's telling me that this is you that needs to deal with this. So hopefully you would understand that, okay? Because I'm getting the sense that it's going to take a certain person, i.e., yourself, to be able to. You're wonderful, lovely. So I feel like you're quite calm and you can be like really, really practical in a certain situation. I feel like that's why he's given me what he's given me. Okay. So I feel like you're the one that needs to deal with this without it kind of, you know, causing chaos, I want to say. So it's almost like nip it in the bud before it happens. Okay. Um, okay. Would you understand a connection to Scotland here? I keep getting tartan, tartan. Okay. Um, and that's all I'm getting with it. So there must be a connection to Scotland, or you've been to Scotland, or something like that. But I feel like this is more of a connection to Scotland, as in family, a friend, something like that, like a physical connection. Okay. Um, and before I leave you, I need to say to you, and I don't feel that this is necessarily with you, but I could be wrong. And I've just been told to say, can we just stop with regards to the tears? And it's a reinforcing message of that he's okay. He's learnt the lesson that he had to learn in order to, come through and communicate. He's sorry for the circumstances around him. He understands his, obviously the wider ripple effect now that he's in spirit. But I feel like somebody's not able to kind of like fully move on the way that this is coming forward. My child half Scotland. Right, okay. I just kept getting tartan, so yeah. As long as you can understand it, that's fine. But I just want to say, with regards to this, whoever is holding on to, something in relation to how he's passed over, I want to say that they need to get rid of that, because I do feel like it's almost like they're harboring the energy. But I also want to say it's um, it's almost like a sense of guilt, as in, you know, they're punishing themselves, but they don't need to punish themselves because nothing could be done, and we need to let go. He's saying to me that that needs to be let go of. Okay, um, okay. Let's move on. Right. Okay. Now he's telling me. Would you understand why he's just went and gave me like gloves and a scarf? So I don't know whether this has been like a present from him at some point to you, but I've just been given the gloves and the scarf. So if it's not been a memory and a present, I want to say somebody needs to be wrapping up warmer in relation to this weather, because I feel like really cold now. So I feel like somebody's like not wearing enough clothing in this colder weather. Okay. Um, okay. Um, okay. Right. Okay. Um, right. Can't really give that. Give me something else, please. Um, okay. Okay. So I've just asked him to give me something else because obviously we're on a live show and I couldn't give you what he gave me there. Okay. I feel that that's a bit too personal. So I want to just say to you here, there is, excuse me, there's like I'm seeing like a big spread, and if it's not like Christmas Day or whatever, I just want to say to you, will you just watch out where you sense and feel this person's energy coming in. But I want to say that there's about 4 or 5 people that are going to be around that celebration, and it's almost like just watch the candles, I want to say, okay? Because it's almost like I'm seeing a candle lit, and then all of a sudden the candle goes out, and it's almost like everybody in spirit's coming in to join when you start the meal, okay? So know that they're around you, and bringing lots of guidance and happiness forward with you, and a lot of love. But I do feel that this gentleman comes around you while you're sleeping, okay? And I want to just say to you before I leave you, he's playing with like my hair here. Now I could be mirroring, so obviously left or right here, okay? But I feel like somebody's like just literally like doing a long hard kind of thing, touching your hair, okay? I'm going to leave you with that, Tracy. Thank you very much for speaking up and taking the message. And apologies to Laura, because obviously I thought it was for you. But lovely. Thank you very much, Tracy, and thank you, Laura, for your question. Okay. Okay. Right. Um, Yes, me and Mrs. And amputee. Right. Okay. As long as you understand it, Tracy. And again, thank you so much for speaking up, because sometimes, spirit have different ideas, and it's like, oh yes, we need to bring that in for that person because they need it, more than the other person or whatever. And that that's not a bad thing. Um, but yeah, you obviously needed it. Okay. Also, thank you, sir. Right. Okay. Jordan's fine. Okay. Well, guys, obviously that brings us to an end of the show this evening. Thank you so much for the love, the warmth, your questions, allowing me to connect with your loved ones and bringing them forward as per usual. Please have a good remainder of your day or evening. And until we meet again in 2 weeks, please stay safe, warm, and well. And namaste. Good night, and see you in 2 weeks. See you later. Night.